This is your sign to stop shopping for new clothes. Clothing production has doubled since the year 2000. And most of it, let's say 85% of it, a year, ends up in landfills. That's enough clothing to fill the Sydney Harbor every year, according to the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, our first guest knows this problem well and is working to change it. You know her as Miss Universe, Gabriel, who is joining us live right now to talk about this. By the way, congratulations on being Miss Universe. That is incredible. And we showed video earlier of the swimsuit that you wore during the competition. You actually upcycled this swimsuit. So, I mean, it's gorgeous. How did you do that? What are the materials made out of?
So the actual cape is made from white silk, which is an environmentally friendly fabric. It will decompose in the ground, which is great. It started off white. I actually dyed it. And funny thing, the dye that I bought is from a secondhand art store from Houston. So all the materials for this actual swimsuit cape, I got from a secondhand store in Houston that I used to live down the street from. It's an art store where people will just donate old art supplies instead of throwing it away. And that store really came in handy for this design.
It's beautiful. When did you realize that you were really into, clothing and fashion? And then when did you decide you wanted to approach more of a climate angle to it?
I realized I was into clothing and fashion and really fell in love with design and sewing when I was a teenager. I made my first dress. My mom taught me how to do it. She had a sewing machine in the house, and I bought some fabric from Joann's, a fabric store. And then I started making my homecoming dress and my prom dress when I was young in high school. And then in college, I was studying fashion design. And that's really where I really took the initiative to take action on climate change and pollution in the industry, because I realized it was such a problem. I was learning more about it, and I said, this is where I have room to actually make a solution, be a part of the change. And as a young designer now, it's my mission.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about that and why it was so important that you showcase this during the competition, because you're on a world stage, so you can really make a statement.
Well, the great thing about the Miss Universe organization is it gives us a platform and an opportunity to share whatever we care about, what our platform is, and what's the message that we want to send to the world. And I knew at Miss Universe there was so many people watching, and I'm a designer and I'm very loud and proud about that, but there's a message behind it. So I wanted to make sure when I'm on stage and on TV that everybody knows the story behind my designs. And for me, that makes my passion of design so much more meaningful when I can actually create a change or educate people on this issue of pollution in the industry.
Have you talked, I'm assuming you've talked to many in the design and fashion industries. And my question, if that's true, is are we seeing more people doing things like this and gaining awareness of upcycling clothes? Because from someone who's not really into fashion, I'm like, why can't we do this all the time?
Is it cool to do it?
Yeah, is it becoming more trendy?
I would say it's becoming more trendy with social media, and the younger designers, they're showing their process of upcycling with videos, and video process of design is growing so much. I mean, everything I make, I do a video of now. And when people can see the actual upcycling process, then I think it's very inspiring and people are understanding it more. So I think it's heading in the right direction. There's definitely a lot of room for improvement, but I like the direction it's going.
Okay, you're insanely talented and fierce. We're showing this outfit that you had in purple, and the front is, kind of all the way down, and the back is open. Just absolutely gorgeous and insanely talented. So what do you hope to do next with all this upcycling work?
Well, I have a year as Miss Universe as my title, and I'm about 2 months in. So there's still a lot of work to be done. And Miss Universe is giving me the megaphone to share on this cause and educate people. Because like we talked about, I feel like not that many people are aware of this issue, but everybody wears clothes. Everybody shops for clothes, even if you're not really into fashion. So we can all do our part in one way or another to cut down on the issue of pollution in the industry, whether that's really just being mindful of the pieces we wear or how much we purchase, or swapping clothing with our friend, going to the thrift store. When we're done with clothing, instead of throwing that away in the trash, you can give it to your local thrift store or donate it to your little cousin. I mean, I do things like that all the time, and that really just reduces what we're throwing away in the trash, and it really increases the longevity of clothing. And that's one thing that's easy, and that's something we can all just do to make a change.
I guess the next question is going to be, what's next for you? Obviously, you've got a long road ahead of you as being Miss Universe, but are you going to continue down this fashion trend and maybe raise awareness even more? What's your hope, your 5-year goal?
Yes, absolutely. I hope to be a leading voice in the sustainable fashion industry because I've been a designer for so long now, even before Miss Universe. So it's a beautiful thing that I am Miss Universe and I can advocate on this. And after Miss Universe is done, I feel like I will have so many more connections to actually make a change on a global scale now.
Wonderful. Well, love it. Well, we're honored to talk to you. I'm so glad that you were on such a big stage and showcased that work.
I know. We're so lucky to have you.
Your video is so cool.
Congratulations. We're looking forward to what comes
congrats.
next, and hopefully you'll check back in with us when you're doing stuff along the way. Arbany Gabriel, Miss Universe, thank you so much for joining us today. How impressive. She has it all.
I know. And it makes it less intimidating, like just looking at the video of them just cutting some pants. I'm always like, oh my gosh, if I cut them, then what am I going to do? But no, just like start being creative.
Yeah, she's so creative and talented in so many ways. Wow.